This video was produced by the UCD Maths Support Centre in conjunction with the UCD Access Centre. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at an example here where we're asked to investigate if the following circles touch externally. So if they touch externally, what we're looking at is the distance between the two centres equal to R1 plus R2 plus R2. So the question we want to ask is, does this actually hold? So is this actually equal? So the first thing we're going to do is have to work out what our two centers are, so our C1 and our C2. And we're going to have to work out what our two radiuses are, R1 and R2. So first circle, if we look at it, has the form we might remember as x minus h all squared plus y minus k all squared is equal to r squared. So from this, we need to work out what our h, our k, and our r belong to in this equation. And we can see, just comparing the two, that we have h equal to 20, k is equal to 15, and r squared is 100, so r is square root of 100, which is 10. So we have our h, our k, and our r. So our center, is the point 20, 15, and our radius is 10. So we're going to call this C1 and this R1. Our second circle here has the form x squared plus y squared is equal to 225. So that, remember, it looks like x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So in this case, we're going to have our center, when it is of that form, is always 0, 0, and our radius is going to be equal to square root of 225. The reason for that is we have 225 equals r squared. R squared is 225. So r is going to be square root of 225, which is what I have down here. So when we work that out, we get our radius is 15. So we're going to have this be our C2, and this is going to be our R2. Okay, so now that we know the two centers and our two radii, what we need to ask next is, do these values for C1, C2, R1, and R2 match up with the formula we need? So we want to test, is the distance between C1 and C2 equal to R1 plus R2? So this is the question we want to answer. So our distance formula that we had before is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, which is equal to square root of 0 minus 20 squared plus 0 minus 15 squared, which is equal to the square root. 20 squared is 400, 15 squared is 225, So we get the square root of 625, which is equal to 25. Next, we look at R1 plus R2. So R1 plus R2. R1 is 10 plus R2 is 15, which is equal to 25. And if we look, we have our distance between our centers, C1 and C2, is 25. The sum of the radii is 25. So since we have these two values being the same, therefore circles are touching externally.